I made a decision. I'm going to work hard. I started a salad dressing company with no background, no food manufacturing background, no money. I made the most out of it. So many people today love excuses. They have a fucking excuse for everything. No one fucking cares. There are examples in every size, shape, color, age of people taking something and turning it into something great. We're rolling. So we were thinking about topics for this podcast. We had about 100 of them. And I realized that I had already written a second book.
Surprise!
Surprise! And I had a great idea. And the idea, the second book, is an entire book of the field guide. 90% of the questions that I answer are related to very specific tactical questions about the journey. So much of the feedback we got from the book was, I want more of the field guide. So I wrote a book on just the field guide, and then things have been unbelievably busy. And we were going to publish it right around now, but we'll end up publishing it next year. And so I had a cool idea of like, why don't we just do a series of the field guide passages of a book that has not yet been published, and everybody will have access to all of the information of the book in little snippets. And then if they want to buy the book at the end because it's all together, they can do that. And if they don't, I don't really care. So the second book is the field guide from the first book. I'm going to read the first question and my answer. And then Gail is going to hear this all for the first time, and she's going to ask general questions like a regular person would. So here we go. My constant throat clearing. How do I manifest a dream? I get that one a lot. Every speaking engagement we do, people say, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. How do I bring it to life? Stop daydreaming and tap into your worst fear. My biggest fear as a young man was that I was going to be a complete failure. That fear made me willing to do anything to live an interesting life. It made me realize if you're going to be a bear, you might as well be a grizzly. Dreams are pleasant, but it's fear of failure or worse, never having even attempted the challenge that launches you forward. Work and life may make you busy enough that you're able to keep that fear at bay. Lots of busy people like the hustle and bustle for exactly that reason. If you're busy, you drown out your individual visions and possibilities. It's only in quiet moments that you may hear that voice bubbling up from your soul, reminding you that life is short. What have you done with it? What could you do if you had the drive and passion to try? Fear will give you the motivation to make your dream a reality. The trick is taking a dream and wrestling it into a plan. That can't be done while you're running around trying to make meetings and deadlines and deliver on someone else's goals. To let your fears push your dream into clear, unmistakable focus, you need to make time. Time in your busy day to push everything else out and devote all of your brain power into surfacing the dream. It's like a sculptor facing a block of marble. The dream is in there somewhere. Are you willing to do the work to carve it out? Start by thinking, what will my life be like if I never try? I then have some books that I recommend. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a classic. It will give you the clarity you need to kind of start setting goals. And then there's another one, Do the Work by Stephen Pressfield, which will help you get past all of the resistance and actually get started. I then have some quotes that resonate with me. A dream is only as real as the steps you're willing to take. Napoleon Hill. Manifestation isn't magic. It's momentum. Lala Delia. And then Cheryl Strayed said, you don't have a right to the cards you believe you should have been dealt. You have an obligation to play the hell out of the ones you're holding. I also have some ways to start the habit of finding quiet in dreams, which we'll get into. And then just a mindset integration where you need to shift your mind to get to a place where you can actually implement those habits. So for this field guide book, it's broken out into the question, how do I manifest a dream? My general summary on that. And then it's got what to read, quotes that resonate, how to create the habit, and mindset integration. And I do that for the entire book by question. So, Gail, how do I manifest a dream? I told you. Books to read, I told you. Quotes that resonate, I told you. Any questions on that?
Can we break down the quote that talks about dealing with the cards that you're dealt?
Yes.
That definitely stuck out to me. So let's break that down.
All right. You don't have a right to the cards you believe you should have been dealt. You have an obligation to play the hell out of the ones you're holding. I love that one because I am a true believer that anything is possible, and I don't believe there's an excuse. And I've been in so many debates with people that like to give me every reason in the world why this group should have more advantages than this group, or the only reason I've been successful is I'm a straight white male in America, or this or that, or this or that. And in my opinion, and we could use Mo as probably the greatest example as somebody that has, you hear his background story, and he got a set of cards, and he could say, well, this and that, and then I didn't have this growing up, and I went to public school, and then I got into trouble, and then the art school I went to shut down. And I mean, the laundry list of bullshit that he could say of why life isn't easy is way longer than my list. I have my own list. People don't want to hear it, but he played his motherfucking cards, and he's continuing to play them every day. And he is smashing life by every metric against all odds. And I think that's, going to public school, having all the same teachers as everybody else, having the same guidance counselors, having the same lack of support from coaches and everything else. You got to see firsthand, like, who's going where and why. And it wasn't on a red carpet at all. I made a decision. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to play a sport in college. I don't care what college it is. Went to a D3 school. But I just felt like if I did that, it would set me up for the next stage of my life in some way, shape, or form. And so I did it. I made the most out of it. I had horrible jobs right out of college. I made the most out of them. I started a salad dressing company with no background, no food manufacturing background, no money, no experience in CPG. I made the most out of it. So many people today love excuses. They have a fucking excuse for everything. It's the economic environment. My parents were divorced. I had some childhood trauma. I didn't go to the right schools. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. People don't like me. I'm ugly. I'm too good looking. I'm too skinny. I'm too fat. No one fucking cares. There are examples in every size, shape, color, age of people taking something and turning it into something great. What stops most people is the fear of looking like an idiot or trying to fit in. The other thing that I've seen is people want you to be only so successful. They do not want you to be more successful than them.
Have you seen that personally throughout your career?
Fuck yes. Everybody wants you to stay within reach. Move to this community, get a job in these industries, make so much money, don't make too much, don't do these things. Why are you going for this? Why are you going for that? And then the haters start. And most people can't take the haters. Oh my God, so I didn't get invited to this party. I didn't get accepted to this club. I didn't get invited to this, or my kid's not invited to this. I don't fucking care. I live on a farm away from everybody for a reason, because I want to be focused on my dreams and goals, and I don't want to be distracted by unnecessary bullshit, because the bullshit is coming regardless. And so you just got to be prepared to withstand that storm, basically. But this whole concept of playing the hell out of the ones you're holding, I mean, you show me a person and I'll tell you what's possible. Now, not everybody can do everything. That's not what I'm saying. But everybody has the capacity to have their version of extreme success. They just have to choose it.
Mm-hmm.
So how to create the habit is one of the sections here. One of the things that I highly recommend for everybody is finding silence. You will be amazed at how scared people are of quiet.
Because all their thoughts start coming through.
Right. And I didn't really realize this, but I was in a kind of elite C-level executive type environment, panel situation. And this whole concept of finding silence came up. Now, I work out in silence. I don't listen to music. I run in silence.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I take multiple walks. I drive in silence, unless my kids are in the car, and then they're the DJ. But I do it because I want a potential idea to pop in, or I want clarity. That's step one of the habit. You got to find 15 to 30 minutes a day in stillness, no phone, just you and your thoughts. Step two, and I believe in writing. I don't really love the phone for it because it's immediate distraction. Oh my God, I have this great idea. You pick up your phone, text message. Oh my God, what's Joey doing? What's Susie doing? So I like writing. I don't like to have my phone near me, and I'll just write shit down. And then you go through a process of, is this dream worth fighting for? You just write. You know, like, what would I have to do to accomplish it? Am I willing to do that? Why do I even fucking care? You just ask those simple questions, you're going to come to an answer real quick.
So you want to pressure test yourself.
Always. But you're only going to be able to do that in silence. Another piece of this is once you begin this journey of silence and then writing the dream or goal down, you also need to be flexible because the universe conspires in your favor. And so you may have an exact plan. It's going to throw you some ways to accomplish it, but it's not going to look the way you have written down. So when you see the bus pull up for your dream, but it's not the right color that you had, and it says it's going to a different location, but it's kind of within the same county, you should probably get on it. There's that hilarious story of there's a flood and there's a guy on a roof and he's like, God's going to save me. So somebody pulls up in a canoe and they go, hey man, flood's coming. Get in this fucking canoe. We got to get out of here. He goes, nope, God's saving me. Then somebody comes up in a pontoon boat. Water's getting pretty high. And they go, dude, it's not looking good. You got to get in. He's like, nope, God's going to save me. Helicopter comes up. Dude, get on. Like, you don't have much time to go. He goes, I'm good. God's going to save me. He dies. He goes to heaven. He gets to talk to God. He goes, you were supposed to save me. He goes, I sent a fucking canoe. I sent a pontoon boat. I sent a helicopter. Those were your signs, man. And I think that that is also a great example of your dream. It's like, well, I want to do this thing. For me, it was like, I want to start a company. I'm not sure with what. Dude breaks into my house, steals my salad dressing. But I had been listening to the rare recordings of Napoleon Hill at the time. And I'm like, this is it. This is the idea. This is my sign. Doesn't make any sense. I don't really love salad dressing that much. I like health. I'm interested in building brands. Can a regular guy take something as dumb as salad dressing and build it into something of substance? Maybe. So that was my version of the canoe, I guess.
That's a wild story.
It is a fucking wild story.
So at that point, do you just trust the process?
You got to fight for the process.
And be open to the journey that comes with it?
Yeah, you got to be hyper aware. You got to fight through all the tests. You do need to shift your mindset because it's not going to come easy at all. And so then it's a matter of what are you willing to endure? What are you willing to do? How hard are you willing to go? And can you recognize the signs or the omens or the breadcrumbs to follow that journey correctly? And what I've found is it'll be taken to the limit, like to the last possible second where you think everything's over.
So at that point, what do? Do you just trust yourself?
You tie a knot to the end of your rope and you hang on. And I think the biggest issue with most people, they'll see the end's coming. It's a week until doomsday. They're out. What I found is at 11:59 p.m. and 59 seconds, something happens. It's a game of chicken. Are you willing to take it that far? I have been. Most of the time it works, but I'm not batting 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be ready to go to the hospital in a game of chicken that you don't turn.
Yeah, so be ready for both outcomes.
Be ready for both outcomes. Mindset integration to be prepared for those outcomes. It really just comes back again to quiet. And I say dreams don't happen in chaos. They need quiet. They need permission. They need commitment. If you wait for the perfect moment to start building, you'll be waiting forever. If you wait for someone else to believe in you first, you'll go nowhere. The moment you choose to believe your dream is possible and back that belief with a plan and a willingness to adapt, it becomes inevitable. Dreams don't get built by certainty. They get built by faith, follow through, and the quiet work nobody else sees. This is important because everybody wants the lightning bolt moment. They want the clear path. They don't want like a direction into the fucking jungle that say, yeah, if you make it through, like your dream's on the other side of that shit. They want like a paved trail with streetlights.
With instant success.
Not even instant. Like, yes, they want instant success, but then they also want it to happen in a year or 2 years. But if you go, hey, yeah, it's going to be this bad for 10 years, how many people are willing to do that?
Not a lot.
Not
I would
a lot.
assume.
Right. I mean, just not a lot. It's too hard. There's too much uncertainty. But if you ground yourself every day in a plan, why are you doing it? Are you on track to your own made-up plan? Are you learning? How quickly can you solve problems? And if you journal it every day, I think one of the biggest things that was really helpful for me, I would look back on my journals from the beginning, and I'm like, my biggest obstacle that I thought was going to end everything was something so irrelevant. And I'm just like, what? That's what I thought was going to end it? So again, you got to have perspective. You got to ground yourself in perspective every day. And you got to just stay focused. But that is how you just simply manifest the dream, or you bring it to the surface so that you can then choose or not choose to follow it.
I want to go back to the silence part. Sitting in silence, driving the car in silence, working out in silence, running in silence.
That fucks with people when I tell them that.
No, I mean, yeah, let's talk about that. So a lot of people, like, that's hard.
Yeah.
That's very, very hard. And it has to do with the fear of their mindset taking over and all of those thoughts. How do you suggest someone starts off?
Go on a walk.
Okay.
Put your phone away. Don't bring it with you. Go on a walk. See how long you can do that. That's one. Another easy way is do a timed meditation. And it could be guided. Now your phone's going to be with you, so that's not total silence. But it will help build the muscle of incremental silence. I like the silence of a walk because there's a lot to observe in nature, and you'll come up with some wild ideas. And I'll bring like a little pad of paper with me and a pen just in case I do come up with a really good idea. I don't want to forget it. And then when I really started doing it was I started repeating my goals in my head during a run right in the beginning of the Tessie Mae's journey. And I would just kind of repeat, why am I fighting so hard? What am I trying to do? And it made my runs a little better, actually. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I found myself a little bit more focused. I felt my brain a little less cluttered. I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep doing that. So that's what I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I lift in silence, which is like
intense.
Yeah, that's nice. No music.
So for the knowledge for the viewers, is manifestation and like meditation and the silence, are they aligned at all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the concept of manifestation is taking something and putting deep conviction and feeling behind it to bring it to life. Now, what I found is that doesn't really happen on the timeline I'm looking for. I usually get it when I don't want it anymore, years later. I'm like, maybe I'm fucking doing this wrong. And maybe I am. I've watched about 100 different videos on it. I don't think I am. I think it's just I'm on the timeline I'm supposed to be on. And you'll get the information when you're ready to receive it, I think is a big one. And I've also noticed you don't get things that you're not ready to receive. So you could say, I want $1 billion. Well, if you're not ready to handle that, you're not going to get it. You're going to get what you can handle. Unless you're getting it from the wrong side of the universe. Then you're going to get it. It's going to feel real good. And then you're going to go down in a fiery blaze, which is most likely what's going to happen. But yeah, meditation, not like manifestation. Meditation I use for clarity. I use it. It's like a duster to get all the cobwebs out of my brain. And then silence is just once the cobwebs are out, then I want to see if anything comes in, if anything bubbles up. Some days, nothing. Some weeks, nothing. Some months, nothing. And then usually it comes in a concentrated flow of maybe it's just a week of unbelievable potency of thought and clarity, and it's just coming. And you have to be disciplined enough to just grind it out every single day, even when nothing is coming to you.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. But the silence. There's a great quote. I read it. I don't know where I read it, but I read it when I was like 24. I was cold calling for insurance, and I'm like up at 3:30 in the morning, and I'm playing professional lacrosse, and I'm trying to convince myself that waking up this early is normal. And it was only when the rest of the world is silent can you hear its deeper vibration. And I was like, I believe that. So you're probably not going to find dead silence at like 9:30 a.m.
But you will at 4 a.m.
You're not going to hear shit at 4 a.m. That's why I usually get up at that time. Anything else on how do I manifest a dream?
I think we're good. Let's go to the next one.
Let's go to the next one. When should I voice my dream out loud? I'd been searching for my epiphany for months and wondered if I'd ever have a dream worth pursuing. Then my friend snuck into my house and stole my mom's homemade salad dressing out of my kitchen, and a lightning bolt happened. And I think the key here is, when should I voice my dream out loud? When I had the lightning bolt, I called the guy, bring back my salad dressing. Then I had the idea, but it was so dumb. Salad dressing. I don't know anything about it. But I called my wife and I said, hey, I'm going to start a salad dressing company to pressure test it. And she goes, that's the greatest idea I've ever heard. It's going to work. I have a weird feeling. If I had not said that, I would not have gone on a 15-year journey of building the number one organic salad dressing brand in the country. So I had to have the courage to say this dream out loud and potentially look like a complete asshole or an idiot. A lot of people don't want to do that.
It all goes back to fear.
It goes back to fear. I've always been willing to say dumb shit and look like an idiot in pursuit of my goals and dreams and everything else. So that went back to going after my athletic goals. I would test training, different training regimens and different nutritional, like I was willing to do anything. And people ask me what I do, I'll tell them. They're like, that's the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard. Well, we'll see. We'll see if I end up being better than you. And it turned out I was. So then it wasn't so stupid. You need to be bold enough to articulate your dream. A secret dream will probably never be achieved. But at the same time, you should not just blurt your dream out to just anyone without any preparation. That's not voicing a dream. It's just idle chatter. Anybody can do that. If you've ever been in a bar and listened to someone drone on and on about how successful they're going to be someday, you know what I mean. That's just big talk. When your idea emerges, give it enough thought and research to give it a short elevator pitch. Then start giving it an audience. Like any act, it will need feedback and refinement. But that won't happen alone in your head. Voice your dream and start its path to reality. Books on what to read. Originals by Adam Grant. Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. Those two are good. One will give you how new ideas get traction. And then obviously Shoe Dog is about Nike and his journey of developing what is now the most iconic company and brand in the world. Say your dream out loud, but only to someone who's earned the right to hear it. Maya Angelou said, there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. Steve Jobs. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And Epictetus. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. So, this is more about the courage to say the idea. And it's interesting because my story, I didn't give it too much thought, but I did have this insane moment where my entire life as it applied to salad dressing flashed before my eyes. And I know that sounds stupid, but I thought to myself, 3 boys who wouldn't eat vegetables ate this salad every single night for 20 years. Literally taking bread and wiping up the dressing. Every tailgate that my mom ever brought it to for a bunch of meatheads, everybody loved it. The dudes from Long Island be like, yo, make sure your mom brings her sauce, bro. And you're like, damn, okay. She would give the recipe to people that asked for it. We've since had to kill them. But we would give it out. Nobody could make it properly. We would make it for people for holidays. That was their gift. And so all of that flashed through my head in an instant. And I thought to myself, well, this has to exist. Like a great dressing, maybe we just don't know. But if it doesn't exist, this has never been replicated, and anyone that has ever tried it loves it, and a dude just stole it from my house who eats Taco Bell every day. Maybe I'm onto something. So that's why I voiced that idea out loud. But I mean, I have 500 ideas every day. And a simple Google search or an Amazon review or search will tell you that idea is stupid, or that idea already exists and 25 people have already done it. So you do need to do a little bit of research, because again, the last thing you want to do is pitch somebody something that's such an amazing idea and you get unbelievably excited about it. And then you do 3 seconds of research and go, well, that already exists. Fuck.
So it's interesting. You said that the salad dressing kind of hit every aspect of your life. Almost when you were kids,
Yep.
you didn't eat vegetables, but you did because of the salad dressing.
Yep.
Your sports career, your mom would bring it to the tailgates. Did that bring you clarity in the moment of, wait, this kind of does make sense. Maybe this is a part of my journey?
That's 100%. And it almost felt like it was the correct decision, because I could build an entire authentic brand behind it. It wasn't random. There was a story. It was special. It had the purple cow vibe to it. 3 athletic brothers hustling organic salad dressing. What the fuck is going on there? That doesn't make any sense. So it did all kind of line up, because you'll talk to people, they're like, well, I got this great idea and I want to do this and that. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, why?
What's the story behind it?
What's the story behind it? How hard are you willing to go for it? How hard are you willing to fight for it? Are you willing to sign over your home for it? These are the questions I now ask people.
Yeah.
Are you cool with being poor forever? And then maybe one day it hits. How hard are you willing to fucking fight for your mom's salsa? And you ask somebody that, I have not had a person yet go, I'm willing to do that. They all go, man, fuck that.
That's a long journey.
And they're like, I'm not losing my house. I have 2 kids. I'm not going to liquidate my 401k. What am I going to do for my retirement? I'm not willing to take that risk. Well, there's your answer. If you can't take the risk and you're not fully committed, that's not how a dream gets achieved. The people that achieve their dreams are all in. They eat, sleep, drink, grind, train for that shit. You ask anybody. You watch Kobe videos. You watch Michael Jordan videos. You watch Tom Brady videos. You watch this amazing runner. She wrote out the exact times that she was going to achieve in the Olympic qualifiers to qualify for the Olympic team every day.
And did she hit those times?
She hit them better. And they were personal bests.
Wow.
There's a YouTube video on it. It's fucking magnificent. She's writing them, and the beauty of it was, she said, half the time I'm writing them, I don't even believe it. Because she goes, how the fuck am I going to hit this time? I've never hit it before. She's like, but that was my goal. And I had to convince myself it was possible. Because if I couldn't convince myself, how the fuck am I going to do it? Because nobody else is going to believe me. She's like, I had to believe first. And that's true. Everything I wrote out from a goal perspective for Tessie Mays, except for the outcome. I achieved. So, every journey is a little different.
Yeah, and that's the point. Every journey is a little bit different, but you learn along the way.
Yeah, well, you do find out in the beginning, you hear all the old sage, wise, Yoda-esque hippies. It's not about the destination, man. It's the journey. And in the beginning, you're like, fuck this journey. This is hard as shit. I don't know how much more I can take of it. Why do they keep saying that? But then you reach the end, or you get close to the end, and the destination, for me, it was selling it for a giant number, didn't happen. Well, that was the end. So was the journey not worth it? It was worth it. 15 years of building the #1 organic salad dressing company in the country, spearheading the clean eating movement, inventing clean manufacturing, building manufacturing plants, hiring people, changing the way people ate, being a part of that wild situation, the highs, the lows. Now, would I have liked $300 million? Yes. I think everybody wants that. But it did not change the significance of everything that I learned along the way. So it really does totally change your perspective as you get older. And I look back on just how young and stupid I was. It's like, that's all it was. I was young and dumb. That's okay.
It's okay. You live and you learn.
You live in it? Yeah. How do I interpret signs from the universe? And this is really a culmination of people asking me, how do I know if something's an omen or a sign? How do I look for signs? How do I know I'm on the right track? How do I know if my journey has ended and I'm just pushing it too far? And so my only answer, get up at 4 a.m. Yes, I know 4 a.m. sucks, but it's the only time of day or night where you can build this skill. 4 a.m. is the only time of day that you can find silence and not be rushed. That is the key. 4 a.m. gives you that. At 5 a.m., and this is only my opinion, but you immediately start thinking about 6 a.m. because that's when the kids are getting up. And so you can't think in an uninterrupted fashion or in complete clarity. 4 a.m. is rough. You need to be in bed by no later than 9:30 for 4 a.m. to work. But if you want the answers, the omens and the signs that you're searching for, you must find uninterrupted, non-rushed time. That's when you'll have the silence to see the signs. My belief system incorporates my faith. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I believe the spirit of my uncle watches over me. I pray for guidance on a regular basis. And I believe the universe sends signs. When you're considering something you believe to be a sign, be honest with yourself. You may want to interpret everything as supporting your actions, but some signs are there to tell you to change course. It helps to adopt the mindset that everything happens for a reason, both the good and the bad. With that idea in your head, you can look at any sign and determine if it's a good sign or a bad sign. Because either way, that sign is there to guide you. When you practice in 4 a.m. silence, you'll train your internal radar to pick up on signs around you in everyday life at any hour of the day. I remember clearly the day I saw a sign that helped me make an important decision. It was early in my Tessie Mae's history, and I had maxed out my own ability to finance my fledgling operation. I needed an influx of money, and I was too new to raise it from outside investors and just too dumb. I was considering talking to my father about putting his house up as collateral on a business loan. It was a huge thing to ask of both of us. My father would be risking the family home, and I would be risking not only my relationship with my dad, but with the whole family. How could I live with myself if I lost my dad's house? How could anyone in the family live with me if that happened? I was not sure what to do. I was sitting in a park overlooking the Severn River, thinking this over, when a large blue heron suddenly emerged from the reeds in front of me and soared into the sky. As I watched the bird fly, I thought about all the times my dad had expressed confidence in me specifically, and I thought about all the times he believed in all of us. And because of that, I believed in myself. The bird reminded me of that belief. It was a sign that gave me the confidence to broach the subject with my dad and not allow fear to hold me back. Whatever my dad was going to say, I knew that it was a conversation that we could have. And in the first book, I explained that whole story. I sit him down and I'm like, hey, man, we can get this manufacturing plant. We can get all this shit, but they need you to sign over your house and the buildable lot across the street as collateral. And before I even got the sentence out, he said, absolutely.
Were you shocked?
Yeah. And he goes, and if it fails and we lose everything, we'll move into trailers somewhere in Colorado together. I'm like, part of me was like, fuck.
It's like, oh, he trusts me that much.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, man. Shit. I guess I'm doing this. Didn't think you were going to say that. A great book for what to read is The Alchemist, one of my personal favorites, because the entire book is about the universe conspiring in this guy's favor for him to go after his dream, but none of it goes the way he thinks. None of it. And there is a 10th anniversary edition that has the 4 obstacles to achieving your personal legend. And I read those quarterly to make sure I'm not committing any of them. But it goes back to this deep understanding of your journey is not going to go how you think. It's always going to feel like it's almost over. There's going to be some moments where you're just stuck in quicksand, or you get a job somewhere else that you didn't think was a part of the plan. But in reality, it's all a part of the plan. And understanding all of that will allow you to follow the breadcrumbs to whatever it is your goal or dream is. And again, you're not going to be able to find those breadcrumbs unless you're getting up early and doing all of the kind of quiet, mental discipline, meditative, interpretive practices required to get clear thought so that you can continue on your journey. It's hard and it sucks.
So how do you identify those breadcrumbs or the omen? And how do you differentiate it just being a coincidence?
There are no coincidences.
Okay.
You have to be okay. This goes back to the previous statement or the previous field guide. You have to be okay with there being bad signs. One of my problems in the beginning was I wanted every sign to be good. I was only looking for good signs. And when I got bad signs, I'm like, oh, that can't be one. That's not an omen.
And you just push it away?
Yep. Oh, nope. That's not. Yep. No, that's good. Anyway, looking for another blue heron or a bald eagle or butterflies, you know, and a fucking fox keeps coming across my path. I'm like, it wasn't a fox. I didn't see that. But you look for, when you're young, you look for only good stuff. That's not what you should be looking for. You should just be hyper aware of whatever is coming your way.
Do you believe that a bad omen could then shift into a good omen?
I think the bad omen or the bad signs in your journey are probably just trying to slightly either warn you or put you on a slightly different path away from destruction.
I like that saying that you just said, to warn you.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Can you speak a little bit more on that?
Yeah. I mean, so again, all of this sounds fucking crazy, but you know, I would see something at a random hour, usually very early. This is when I didn't have my own gym, so I'm driving to the gym.
In silence.
In silence. And I'd see something and I'm like, I wonder what kind of omen that is. So I'd like put it in. It's like, this is a horrible omen. I'm like, well, let's see what it is in Native American culture. It's like, this is a horrible omen. I'm like, let's see what this is in. And I would go through like,
To force it. To be
to
like,
find one culture since the beginning of time that interpreted this one thing as good. And I'm like, that must be it. And in reality, it's like, no, you fucking idiot. That was a warning that one of your investors was about to launch a hostile takeover attempt and coup against you. And you're talking to them and going out to lunch with them. And in reality, they're plotting your demise. And here you are on like the 10th cultural fucking omen looking for a positive one that it's all going to work out. And it's like, it ain't fucking working out, dude.
but you learn that through experience.
Well, yeah, I learned it through, 25 lawsuits and millions of dollars in legal fees. And then eventually my dream going up in flames in a dumpster fire. It's like, oh, great. So, but that's the lesson learned.
Mm-hmm.
The lesson learned is, yeah, you're going to get signs, and some of them are warnings. And some of them mean you need to slightly adjust your path. Not everything is good. The breadcrumb may not be there because maybe you need to pause for a moment because a truck's coming.
The breadcrumb might be a little bit moldy.
Yeah. Maybe you need the penicillin.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I look back on that and you're just like, motherfucker.
Next field guide?
Yeah, this is a good one. I get asked this a lot, and it's all about mentorship. I didn't have a mentor. I created my own mentors through reading or taking little tidbits from people that I was talking to, but I never had a guy that had done it big and knighted me. You are my mentee. I will take you to the promised land. Mine was, oh, Greg, you're going to make every mistake anyone could ever make. You're going to get kicked in the dick with steel-toe boots every morning, and you're going to learn yourself. So how can I be my own mentor? In Hollywood, a mentor always turns up on cue. Just at the moment Luke Skywalker is stuck, there's Obi-Wan to give him all the free advice and unlimited time he needs to learn to be a hero. Must be nice. For the rest of us, mentorship is harder to secure. And for many, a true longtime mentor may never emerge. We have to be self-taught. When my company faced its worst financial challenges, I remember being in my office overwhelmed by it all. We owed people millions of dollars. I thought my dad was going to lose his house. I thought I was going to lose my house. I literally thought I was going to die from stress. And I kept thinking, maybe someone's going to come in and save me. Maybe I'll get a miracle. Maybe there's going to be a new product or a new board member or a new investor, and they have the answers and they're going to help me. And that's when it hit me. No one was coming. I was the hero I needed. It was me. When no one is coming to fix your life, you need to step up and be your own hero. That starts with being your own mentor. I did it. I read about great, successful people. I reached out to leaders in my community and asked to interview them. I believed I could make myself into the man I wanted to be. When you take that level of agency, you don't need a Hollywood moment. Tim Ferriss wrote a great book, Standing on the Shoulders of Giants, which was basically a collection of everybody he'd ever interviewed. And they're like 2 pages each. And it's just snippets of really interesting information. And then Principles by Ray Dalio was interesting, not from a mentorship perspective, but it broke down his belief system in business and in life for how he became successful. So that really kind of helped me realize, all right, I need my own system. I need to create my own system. I need to realize, okay, I need to read books for the purpose of developing the deficiencies that I have, almost like a mentor would teach me. Like, hey, Greg, this is a blind spot you have. Okay, well, who can tell me that? My wife, my brothers, my employees. Yeah. And we did that. We would have those types of meetings. And they were very, very helpful for me. How to create this habit. Make a list of 10 people whose lives or businesses you admire. They don't have to be saints. They just have to have done something that make you say, damn, how'd they pull that off? Then start digging. Find books they've written. Find books about them. Find interviews, speeches, articles. Each morning or evening, carve out 20 to 30 minutes and read with intention. Take notes like you're studying for the most important test of your life, because you are. As you read, write down not just what they did, but how they did it. What traits show up over and over? What mistakes do you see yourself repeating? Use your notes as a mirror, not a museum. So I think that this is really interesting because, again, when you read a book with a different intention, not just to observe, but to identify, man, I wish I could lead in chaos like that guy. Okay, how did he do it? Let's learn more about Ulysses S. Grant or Abraham Lincoln or Teddy Roosevelt or Napoleon or Admiral Stockdale. There's books and biographies and movies about all these people. Are they going to be the same as talking to them and getting the intricacies of what was going on in their mind? No. But are you going to potentially be a better version of yourself after digging in? Yes, you are. And so that's what I started doing. And again, I'm interviewing presidents and CEOs of other businesses around town. I'm looking for, how did you become successful? If you had to give yourself advice when you were 25, what would it be? What's this? What's that? And when you become a student of the game and you make it a part of your required learning in your role, everybody has continuous education for their jobs. If you're the CEO, you better be fucking learning, and you better be evolving faster than everybody else. And you better be a leader that people want to follow, or guess what? They're going to leave. So that was really helpful for me, because I would think I had a mentor and I would use them like a mentee and mentor would use each other. And then I would get to a point of like a critical moment. I'll never forget this. I'm like in the worst moment I'd ever been at that time, when we didn't get paid from somebody and payroll was going to bounce and we had never missed payroll before, and I'm scrambling and I'm losing it. And I call this guy that was kind of my mentor at the time, and I'm like, dude, what do I do? Because, well, that's never happened to me before. You've never been late on payroll ever? He's like, no. We've always been private equity backed, or this or that, or this or that, or this or that. So I don't know how to help you there. And so then I'm like, okay, that's interesting. That seems kind of like base level adversity, right? Like that's not even that severe. And so then in that moment, I kind of understood, all right, I don't know if this guy's going to be able to help me in the chaos of building a manufacturing plant and building a brand from nothing and dealing with all the issues that a consumer packaged good brand's going to deal with. You know, still friendly with them, still would call them, but my focus and shift on like what kind of relationship that was going to be dramatically changed in that moment. And I learned a lot in that week. We just overdrew the account by the entire payroll amount, which I didn't know you could do at the time. The money came in that Monday. The bank called. The money came in. It wasn't that big of a deal. But at the time, it was like everyone's livelihood's on the line. But it was one of those things where you're like, okay, I got to find somebody that's been through a little more, because the journey I'm on is way, way, way different than the journey he was on.
There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be bumps in the road.
Yep.
So it's how you navigate through that.
100%. And again, it's like, I reached out to so many people. Most never return my calls or emails. That's why I return everybody's call and email now. Someone hits me up on social media, LinkedIn, email, hey, I'm in this situation, or read your book. I'm just randomly reaching out. Can you provide some guidance for me? I fucking call those people out of the blue.
And by calling them, it could change their life.
Well, it's funny as shit.
If you give them advice that you've been through.
I'll call and they're like, hello? I'm like, hey, it's Greg Vetter. I got your email. They're like, what the fuck? I did not think you were going to reply, man, let alone call me. I'm like, well, you asked for my help. They're like, yeah, I just kind of wrote that. It was like a Hail Mary. I'm like,
by chance.
It's caught. Hail Mary caught.
That's exactly what you wanted when you were a young entrepreneur. So I think it's fantastic that you now give that to other people.
Well, and it's one of my guiding principles in leadership, which is lead by example, leave things better than when you found them. And when you combine those, it really comes down to the golden rule, which is treat other people how you want to be treated. I wanted a call back. I wanted an email response back. And, you know, I didn't get it. That's okay. So I'm trying to make things better. I'm passing it down or paying it forward, or however you want to look at it. Because I think this stuff, and the reason I wrote my book the way that I did, the unfiltered story of my failed American dream, I did not pussyfoot around any piece of it. I did not try and sugarcoat it. This is what went down. And the response has been great. I got a note the other day. Someone had my cell phone number and sent me a wonderful text like, I just finished your book. It was the most amazing, down-to-earth, real business book I've ever read. Thank you so much for writing it. It's like, cool. I'm glad it could help.
And that's exactly why you wrote it.
Yeah, because I wanted to read that fucking book. I don't want the romanticized, you're finishing off your legacy book. I want it written when the wounds are fresh. How did it make you feel?
How did you navigate that running a company with hundreds of employees?
Right. What went down? Don't leave it out.
And you didn't.
No, I didn't. Well, some I had to legally. But that was not my choice. That was the lawyer's.
That's neither here nor there.
Correct. Tomato, tomato. Don't come looking. Well, I think that this has been great. We're going to keep doing this. The book is how many pages? It's about 100 pages. We're going to go through this for the next couple weeks. We're going to chop these up into little tidbits by the title so that everybody can learn from these like they did with the original field guide. And I'm excited to bring this to the world before the book is even launched. And I think it's interesting stuff. So thank you for coming. Gail, thank you.
Thank
Go,
you for
go,
having
Mo,
me.
my guy. We out, Che.